Welcome back, everyone, on the journey to transform culture. I'm Steve, and I'll be your guide. Well, team, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, and I hope your week has been well also. The weather, obviously, cooling down, to kind of timestamp this for the late fall, as we encroach upon or get nearer to, I guess, um, Thanksgiving, which is, again, food, right? Anyway, today, let's talk a little bit about portals. The obvious portals we know in our day to day mundane aspect of life are doorways, right? Tunnels, the car door, those sort of things. But we want to go a little bit further down below the water line. We want to get into the more symbolic nature of the journey. Uh, I guess you could say not only transformation, because that's change over time, but there comes a point when you have to step through a particular portal, whether it be organizationally, culturally, personally. In fact, personally to begin with, before the rest of it changes. And some of those portals are not easy. Some of those portals could be people dealing with dependencies that they have themselves, addictions, codependence, all these sort of things. But they can also just be changes in life. It could be a new job, right? Or leaving an old job. It could be bringing on new team members. It could be, all of these things, these changes, significant changes that are essentially portals. People, transferring from one to another. I think of the often talked about science fiction where they talk about wormholes. Well, if you could go through a wormhole and, this kind of thing, the way you could time travel potentially and all this kind of stuff, or travel great distances in a blink. Kind of fascinating and fun to think about. But where it gets really, where the rubber meets the road is the portals in our own life. Because ultimately, until we can deal with the portals in our own life, for ourselves, before we deal with anything else, we have to deal with those first. And those portals are laced with and surrounded by fear, uncertainty, the unknown, right? But also the possibility. And so you've got this, you got two things going on at once. There might be some, it could be nervous excitement, it could be anxiousness, whatever, because you don't know what's on the other side of this portal. When we're born, that's a portal. We came into this world and here we are. Right. Wow. Hey, guess what? Surprise. This is what it was. No. So that was a portal. And you essentially entered this world through that portal. And from that, um, a lot of probably super amazing things have happened in your life, and some potentially, very tragic things may have occurred. The point isn't that going through these portals is any kind of guarantee that things are going to be great on the other side. I think more than anything, going through these portals is for us to be good with ourselves, good with and confident about who we are. And I don't mean, superficially by our title and our role. I'm talking about, down to the depths of our heart and our psyche and our emotions, that we are, hey, I'm trying to do good things in the world, right? I have good intentions for other people. I want to help and serve where I can, all these things, you know, that portal. Because one day, depending on your background and belief system, if you're somebody of faith, you believe that there's a portal after this life. If you're somebody that's spiritual, similarly. If you're not, then you kind of relegate back to the, energy and matter, and I'm energy and matter. Well, maybe you were reconstituted into a flower, who knows, whatever, a bug, right? So there's all kinds of perspectives from different beliefs and background systems, but in backgrounds. But the bottom line is, and this is undeniable, one way or the other, there is a portal. and, and we have to make friends with that. But until that time comes, we have many series of portals. And if you think about it, when you went through education in school, you took different classes, you went to different grade levels, you essentially were going through a series of portals. You go to a new class, you hear something about a teacher, and all of a sudden you're more nervous because this teacher's really strict, or maybe gets a little excitable, whatever it is, right? Or maybe they have a reputation of not being such a great teacher, and so you've kind of gone into this with a preconceived notion. And that's the other thing about portals is we have to make sure that we don't let our mind get tricked. So if you think about negotiating around a table with folks who have differing opinions and maybe even ones that are significantly contrary to others, you have to go into these, negotiation type meetings and situations. If you don't come into those, if you don't go into that portal with the right mindset, then you are essentially leaving with the preconceived notion to go into a portal. You really aren't going through a portal. A portal is also that opportunity of the possible, right? And you want to be able to latch on to the possible. What is your, and this is a little bit to I guess you could say manifesting or focusing on a goal and then going toward it, right? What is the outcome? Your desired outcome. If that desired outcome is such that I have to win, and the only way for me to win is for others to lose, then you're not going through a portal. There is no growth. There is no elevation, like, when we use the grade system or the going through school or the classes. You are not progressing to the next class. You're not graduating, essentially, when you go in with preconceived notion, and especially one where for me to win, you have to lose. Now, I don't mean there's always going to be, the 3D winner and loser. If we run a race, clearly I lost. If you beat me in a race, a 100-yard dash. But did I lose? Because now I've learned something. I've learned something that I need to work on to get faster, right? If you take that analogy and throw that into many scenarios, again, you come back to the classroom. Learning isn't about being the top student always, right? The top student could be bored, right? And whiz through the class. But those who are trying hard, what do you think they've gained going through these elevation portals? They've learned how to try and never give up. So if you want somebody on your team, what do you want? Obviously, you want somebody who's going to be, find success, but you want folks who are going to be striving to be successful, to be better, right? Even in incremental ways, always in a constant state of going through a new portal. And then what happens is, and this is where it can become fun, but also slightly addictive as well, is you look forward to these portals. Now, if you think about it, you do this when we travel. If you travel around the world, around the country, around your state, exploring, whatever it is, vacation, what are you doing? You're going on a predestined right? You kind of know where you're going, basically, hopefully. And you're going through this wondrous portal, series of portals. And on this trip, you might take a left and a right turn. Now think about it. Most of all of the adventures that we've ever read about or watched on TV or in movies is based on, hey, we're going on a journey to there. And along the way, oh my gosh, look at the look at the craziness that breaks out. Or the variable situations that crop up. It's being chased by somebody who's trying to get me, or whatever it is, wild animals, whatever. Insert adventurous thing here. But the point is that you're electing to go on that portal. But there are people in their own hometowns that don't go through the portal of mending relationships with their children, relationships with their parents, relationships in their community, relationships with peers, brothers, sisters, you name it. They are afraid to go through that portal because preconceived notion is this other person doesn't have the same desired outcome, because it's possible that you've got enough information to know that they only think they're going to win if you lose. But again, still requires the same amount of bravery, same amount of optimism, right, to go through that portal, to step through it. Because where your struggle lies, or where your struggle lay, that's where the rebirth and possibility and where healing also lays. So If you want things to get better, you have to make the choice to go through the portal, but with the right, well, I should say, with no preconceived notion, with the right hopeful outcome of what uh, could be wins for everyone. And that's where you enter into, what do I want that outcome to be? If it is, I want to be under, this is a the oh gosh, don't let me misquote. Anyway, it's not mine. um, but before being understood, you have to seek to understand, but truly understand. Not, okay, I heard you, but this is really what I want, right? Because now you're not seeking wins for everyone. It can't be superficial. It can't be, 1 inch deep water. There's nothing there. There's no substance to it. It's phony, or it's false, it's fake. It's the frosting, it's not the cake. So for you to be able to bring wins for yourself and others, right? If you're an organizational leader, you want to get wins for you, but you also want to get wins. You better want to get wins for your team. And obviously, both of you need to have the customer as a primary focus to get wins for both. And eventually, what you find is that you won't see us and them, leadership, the broader team or workforce. You'll see all of you as one. And when you all become one, then you're going through portals together, and you can be more confident going through portals as a team. And going through portals as a team, you can be more confident and reassured that the outcome is probably going to bring wins for a broader, swath of folks, whether it be, the entire organization. Culture at large also wins too. When you go through these portals, don't just be thinking about, well, how can we serve our customers so our team can be taken care of? What is the broader impact that you're going to make toward culture? Hey, you come up with a new way to purify water. One of the motivations of your entire team could be, hey, this is what we're going to bring to culture to help people, right? To help communities, to help other organizations, which also, it is essentially hitting that good domino, like we talk about in other videos, 3 to 5 times a day, to make sure that we're uplifting, motivating, inspiring, and encouraging folks. And when we do that, that's how we make sure that, there is transformation happening in others' lives. And when we do that for others, we're doing that for ourselves. And that is its own portal. And we're protecting love. And protecting love is a portal of its own. So you see, there are many portals that we go through and that we stand on the edge of, afraid to go through, afraid to sit down and make peace and heal. And we have to conquer that fear, because the only way to do it is to see and go through it with the mind frame, if you will, of love, of protecting love. If you go through that portal with the intent to protect love, no matter what happens going through that portal, then you're more likely going to see a positive outcome, or at least grow from that experience. And that's what you want. You want to grow in a healthy way, and you want others to grow in a healthy way too. But before going through that portal, you have to cross some and go through some portals within yourself. Make peace with yourself. If you're not feeling worthy, or if you're feeling like you're compromised in a way, then seek out assistance. If you need to seek out, counselors and so forth, do so. Get confident and comfortable understanding and ironing out any issues that you might have, so that when you go through these other bigger portals, you're more confident and you're more at ease with yourself. And that's important. Well, folks, just wanted to talk a little bit today about portals, right? Organizational portals that affect culture at large. And more importantly, what we need to do as individuals to be able to make that happen. I want to thank you for stopping by. Hope you're having a great day. Hit like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.